If you've ever Googled Bigfoot, then you would know that there are thousands of websites, movies, and documentaries dedicated to the subject. And if you've ever explored the subject, you would have seen a vast number of groups that claim that they can communicate with Bigfoot. And I'm not even going to poison the well by talking about the people that believe they can do so using their psychic powers. Or the people that claim that Bigfoot is a cross-dimensional shape-shifting being with the ability to bend light around it. Yes, those exist. I'm just going to be talking about the people that think they can yell at it.
1, 2, 3.
The next series of clips that I'm going to show you are going to deal with another form of Bigfoot communication called tree knocking. But before we move on, I'd just like to point out that I selected all of these clips from a mainstream source in the hopes that it would indicate that these are the most credible and best Bigfoot hunters the community had to offer.
One twilight behavior other local researchers have noticed is tree knocking.
Sasquatch apparently respond to this because they say that if you sort of thwack twice, you'll get 2 taps coming back.
Knocking is what we believe is a tactile form of communication. A lot of times in areas that have had Sasquatch sightings, a lot of people hear tree knocks, wood on wood, something like this. So what we've surmised is that it may be some form of communication between them. Could be GPS.
Yep, GPS. Bigfoot GPS. As much as this comment hurt part of my brain, I still wonder if what he really meant was radar, or even better yet, sonar, or even better yet, echolocation. But who am I to tell a seasoned Bigfoot hunter what he meant?
That was strange, though. I just got the smell for about 10 seconds and now it's gone. There's no wind to speak of. That was strange.
That was strange. That was really strange. I could smell it for just a second, but there's no wind. That's really strange.
Some of the bait was taken, and a large impression was left behind in the soft mud. The impression looked like a large humanoid creature with very long flowing hair.
You know what, guys? I think the police should hire this guy to be their professional footprint expert in every case in the entire fucking world at this point. Like, Interpol should hire him because he saw some fucking footprint in the mud and he determined it was a large male that's really goddamn hairy from a footprint that hasn't been analyzed yet. Something took the bait and he's convinced it's fucking Bigfoot. It's fucking case dismissed, case over. He is the expert. He is the new Sherlock Holmes. Fucking congratulations, you fuck. Fuck! The fuck am I supposed to do with this?
What led us to the Skookum Expedition site was a line of treetops that were snapped off as if in a trail.
Wait, what? You followed snapped treetops across the country? Oh, I get it now. Bigfoot got lost and had to find his way home. So he snapped off a bunch of treetops so he could tree knock to GPS his way home.
Mississippi, look at this. I have no doubt we're going to meet a lot of great witnesses here. I mean, look around. There's no way there's not squatches here. It's prime habitat.
Now, there's another problem. I wonder if any of these people have ever heard of confirmation bias. How do you just show up to the woods and just declare that, yep, there's no way there's not squashes here? How do you know that?
The team knows they must be much more than lucky. They will incorporate 8 vocalizations and wood knocking, another well-documented primate communication technique.
So there's the problem. It's a really well documented Bigfoot communication technique. And I've seen plenty of these videos on YouTube where people go right out and just like pimp their trucks out, huge stereo equipment, to sit in forests at late at night and blast weird sounds into the forest.
One night, there was something that would make 2 taps on this side of me in the woods, and immediately it would be answered by 3 taps on this side of me, and that was making me a little nervous. And some people were telling me that that might be how they drive a deer to a certain place to get ambushed. It drove me back to my vehicle.
Yep. The tree knocking drove him back to his truck. And then his truck drove him back to McDonald's.
So in 2004, I was staying at a hunting cabin, and I was hearing some loud wood knocks. It was like a tree hitting a tree. And I heard some other sounds that went along with that. So I came back the next month and I put a game camera out with a motion sensor on it. And come to find out, this motion sensor is not working right.
But, all joking aside, this footage is of a gathering of sorts, where people share their experiences and try and make sense of them. They try and explain how Bigfoot communicates and how to communicate with him, and all the other things people presume to know. For instance, they presume to know what Bigfoot sounds like.
In fact, one of the best pieces of evidence we have came from down there. The Mississippi Howl, recorded by BFRO investigator John Callender. It's one of the only recordings of a deep moaning howl from a big male Sasquatch.
Hey, I think I've heard that sound before. Huh. Let's see that side by side, shall we? I think I'm at a loss for words, but I think this guy says it best.
I'm not completely convinced that we are dealing with a mistaken identity phenomenon. I think there's a considerable amount of evidence that there may be, in fact, some primates out there.
How can you disagree with those facts? There's definitely primates out there in those woods.
The reports suggest that they are often active at night, but the visibility, even in daytime here, is only going to be a few yards in any direction. So it's probably going to be sound that alerts us to their presence.
So, it's dark outside. You can't see around you. You don't know where anything is. You set up cameras all over the place. You set up recording equipment all over the place. And then you start what?
We're knocking and waiting, and perhaps it will encourage them to come in and take a look at us.
Meanwhile,
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Yes, it's okay. This is exactly what we want.
so they respond.
Incredibly, against all odds, a faint reply. But the researchers are confused. Replaying it again and again, it sounds like it's mimicking field expert Cindy Dawson. It sounds almost human.
That's because it is human. It's another group in a different part of the park doing the exact same thing they are. Too bad. If only there was some sort of Bigfoot registry where people could come together and let each other know they're going to be hunting Bigfoot in the same forest. And then, maybe, people wouldn't cross-contaminate each other's samples, audio recordings, and footprints. But let's see what the experts have to say about it.
When we heard from some distance behind us a reply, of course, the reaction was immediate. It was extremely exciting, but Cindy was very calm and didn't show immediate excitement at the reply. And I guess she was being cautious because it sounded human-like.
You know, some part of me feels that if these people ever discovered Occam's razor, they would just end up cutting their own hands off with it. But there we have it. The mystery is solved. Bigfoot hunters are just hunting other Bigfoot hunters. Thank you, and good night. Now, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to let this go that easily. I made a joke about Occam's razor and confirmation bias, but it's not really a joking matter. These people have decided to make a living through the propagation of a lie. Through feeding you that lie. And I understand that it's Bigfoot, and no one really believes in Bigfoot. It's not about the subject matter. It's about the principle of it all. Let me just say one thing up front. I do believe there are some people out there who genuinely believe in Bigfoot. And these are the same people who are trying to make an honest go at it. But they aren't the problem. I mentioned earlier that I think there could be a registry out there, someplace, maybe online, that Bigfoot hunters could come and register to confirm with each other about their intended activities, so they wouldn't cross-contaminate each other's evidence. But we all know that right away, trolls would invade the space and fuck it all up for everyone. Even if it wasn't trolls, just other people who want to profiteer from the situation. So, there's no real winning. But, now that that's out of the way, the principle. There are a few people in these clips that choose their words really carefully, who try not to lie. Then there are others who sit there and say, "Yep. How could there not be Bigfoot in these woods?" Or, even better, they say that they followed the line of snapped treetops to this part of the country, hunting down Bigfoot. Regardless, these are all lies, bold-faced lies, and part of the reason I started this channel. So if you're interested in the subject, or just want to see who I think is lying next, stick around, and you might like what you see.